Hey guys, another non-car related video today. This time it's bike related, and I think it was about time to do what I'm planning to do today, because with all the rusty beauties that I'm taking care of, this girl remained really neglected for maybe a year now, and I really don't like that because she doesn't deserve it. She deserves a little bit more care, and today we're gonna do that. We're gonna take care of her. Alright, so this is a 2007 Yamaha V-star 650 custom, and I got her 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even remember anymore. I think 2014 I got her from a used bike dealership, and she was in a very mint condition actually when I got her, but after, I don't know, 3 or 4 winters in the same humid underground garage in the building I live, there are many things that require attention now. For example, if you look at the wheels, there's a lot of rust around them. I hope I can still polish them without too much damage. The tire, it has some tread, but if you look closely, it has all these cracks on the side, which is not good. So we have new tire for the front. Here there are many parts that are rusted, so I don't know if we're gonna have time for everything today, but hopefully we're gonna be able to clean those and paint them. Clean this of course we can't paint, but at least clean the rust. The rear tire, the rear wheel is the same, has some evidence of rust, so if we can clean that. We have to change this tire as well. This one doesn't even have treads on it anymore. And what else? On the other side, I want to change the oil in the final drive over there, and it looks like it has a leak, and of course we're gonna change the oil in the engine. And here I know we have a leak because I see some drips on the floor every time I park her, so I have to investigate that and see if this is a seal that has to be changed. Of course we can't change it today, but at least to investigate and find what we have to do, and deal with some more rust here, and everywhere. It's a shame. She is a beautiful bike, but she got neglected. Last year I barely took her out, but I'm planning this summer to take her to work and enjoy her more. Oh, by the way, I wanted also to show you the saddlebags. When I bought the bike from that dealership, I bought also the saddlebags, and I was dealing with a guy who said I can get them for $150 installed. And then when I went to pick up the bike 2 days later, that guy wasn't there. There was another guy who charged me $150 for the box and $150 for the installation. And I argued with him, but he said, no, that's how it works. You misunderstood something or whatever. So I said, fine, okay. So I paid $300 for the bags installed. And when I got home, I got really upset because this is how they installed them. I don't know if you notice here, but these are just zip ties. Can you imagine? So of course 2 days later, the zip ties were broken, and this is what I have for $150. This is how they installed them for me. Of course, I'm not gonna deal with those guys anymore, but maybe we will find a better way to install those bags. And of course, there is a better way. There's this plate here that gets unbolted from here. You drill some holes on the bag and install the plate inside the bag, or something like that. But no, the easiest way is to do that with zip ties, right? And charge somebody $150 for that. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, so we got her on the stand, and now I think the first thing to do is the rear tire. So we're gonna take out the saddlebags, we're gonna take out the rear tire, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So to take the rear tire off, so I checked the manual, and it says that we have to remove these 4 bolts, loosen the rear axle, this nut here, And on the other side we have to take out this nut, because this is what holds the drum so it doesn't spin, and the rear brake rod has to be loosened, and then supposedly the tire has to come out. Now when we take everything out on the other side, it should slide right out. So here this should be loose, yeah, because we loosened it on the other side. This of course will need to be readjusted later. And now if I press the pedal, it should come out. Not really. Yes. Okay. Take out the spring so we don't lose it. And this little cylinder from inside. And now we should be able to take the wheel out, unless the license plate is on our way, but we will see. It's coming out together with the shaft. We just don't want to lose the shaft here. Or maybe just the... Actually, it's coming out. Good. So now we can take the final drive out. I hope you see. Actually, let me reposition the camera. So now if we take the axle out, we should be able to take the final drive out. Yep. And later we're gonna change the oil in it. And there's this bushing that goes on the axle, so don't forget that. And on the other side we can take the drum out. Okay. And we're still good on brakes, which is good. And now we can start taking the tire out and installing the new one. Alright, so I cleaned a little bit the rim, and it doesn't look too bad on this side, but on this side it has a little bit more rust, and even this spot where it looks like something was spilled. I don't know if I'm going to be able to clean that. First let's deal with the tire, and then, or maybe when we take the tire out, then we can clean the rim better. But before we start taking the tire out, let's first see if we have the right tires here, because I haven't even opened them yet. I bought them like 2 months ago maybe, but I still haven't checked what I got. Oh, that's my oil filter, yeah, forgot about that. Forgot that I ordered an oil filter too. Okay, good. So my tire is 170 by 80 by 15, and this one is 170 by 80 by 15 MC. So it is perfect, and it's the same brand, Dunlop. And there's this mark here is where the valve is going. Like even on the old tire you can still see the mark. There is a nut here on the stem that we have to take out. And now I know the hardest part will be to take the tire off the bead, I think. And I don't even know how we're gonna do that. Let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, one side. How about this? All right, so that's what we wanted, right? All right, so now that it's off the bead, the first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna use some soapy water. I'm gonna put on the tire so it can slip easily from the bead when we take it out. And we're gonna put on the other side as well. And now very careful, away from the valve stem. Very careful so we don't puncture the inner tube. But that's gonna be a disaster because we don't have another inner tube. They have special tire irons and protective plastic things for the rim, but I don't think it is so hard to do it without them. Okay. That works as well. So let's see if we can take the inner tube out. Okay. So now I think we should clean the rim nicely. Alright, I cleaned the rim from oil and grease as much as possible, but now you see those rusty spots here. And for this, I have a special chemical that I bought. It's called Coke. And I used to do that before, and it worked surprisingly. Coke and aluminum foil. Well, it was regular Coke, but now what I have here in the shop is sugar-free Coke, so hopefully the sugar wasn't the thing that was cleaning the rust and polishing my rims before, so let's see. Oh my. So I'm gonna put some Coke there and well, most of it is gone, surprisingly. There's still something there, but we'll keep doing. Alright, so both sides are nice and clean. There's absolutely no rust anymore, anywhere. So I'm happy. Again, every time I do that trick with the Coke, I'm really surprised it works. Cheers. The spokes are not in the best condition, but I don't think I'm gonna take my time to clean them now because I have so many other things to do. Maybe some other day. Alright, so we can start installing the tire now. That's our drum side, which is the right side of the bike, right? and this is our final drive. I'm gonna put it this way. It's our final drive side, so the tire spins this way, counterclockwise. So we have direction on the tire here, and for this tire the direction is this way, clockwise, so it needs to be the other way around. And now again we're gonna check the direction. Here we have a direction counterclockwise, so that's what we want. So now we're gonna put again soapy water on the tire. So now we should be able to put the tire relatively easy, I hope. Well, it doesn't look that easy, but we'll see. Okay, maybe for this we're gonna go on the floor. Okay, like we said, the yellow dot against the valve. So when I took out the inner tube, the valve stem was pointing towards the final drive, so put it like this again. Final clamp inside. So we're just gonna put this nut loosely. So now we can put air in it and we can install it on the car, I was gonna say on the bike. Now we can put the valve stem back in. According to the manual, it's 33 psi for the rear one and 29 for the front. Why is it not making the noise? That's what I wanted. Okay. That's 33 psi, and we are ready with the tire replacement. So you see the final drive has some dirt on it, but I don't think there is a leak. It's just oily, you know, so I'm gonna clean it and I'm gonna change the oil after we put it on the bike. It's easier, I think. Or should we change it now? Yeah, actually let's change it now. Alright, final drive is relatively clean, but here the drive shaft, you can see it's all pitted and rusted, so we're gonna see if our special chemical is gonna work here, which I doubt, but hopefully at least we're gonna make it look a little bit better. You see how little it took to take it to this condition from this condition? Oh my god. Unbelievable. And they say Coke is bad. I don't think so. Right, Cheftash? Cheftash is addicted to Coke, by the way. He's going to the anonymous Coca-Colists. And to change the oil on the final drive, I put it on the vise. It's gonna be easier. Otherwise, we can always do it on the bike, but the problem is there we are gonna spill oil all over our newly cleaned rim and everything. So, oops. So we're gonna. Oh, it looks full. That's good. I look normal color. Alright, that's enough. And the recommended oil for here is 75W90. So we're gonna fill it up. Alright, then we have to fill it up until it starts coming out from this hole, and that's where we are right now. And while you were watching me dealing with the tire and final drive, I took care of the chrome on this side and on this side. It worked fantastic. I don't know if you see. There were some really rusty parts of the chrome. For example, this tube inside was very rusty, and the pedal was very rusty, and the muffler here and there had the rust. So everything cleaned up very well. Only the black parts here I didn't clean, but that's probably gonna happen next time, because I won't have time. I still have to change the front tire, I still have to change the oil in the engine, so I don't think that's gonna happen today, but maybe next time. I'm gonna take those brackets, and on the other side there are two more. I'm gonna clean them and paint them, and that's gonna be it. Alright, so let's install the tire now. Alright, so first we have to install the drum on this side. I never took off the bolt from the axle, but if you took it off, you have to make sure that there's a washer and spacer here. Clean those with this lever. It's fantastic, huh? Okay. And on the other side, we have this bushing, and then the final drive. And this is going to be the tricky part now, to put it on. Okay, so if you see, there is a notch here, and you can land the axle on the notch, and still you can play with the shaft over there. So that's what you should do. Don't struggle like me. But I don't see anything, that's the problem. Not only that we have to match the hole, but we have to match the splines as well. So that's the trick. Okay, so that's the trick. You have to ride your bike backwards, and then everything matches. Just put them loosely, and we're gonna put everything on the other side, and then we're gonna come back here and tighten them. Alright, and now we have to install our cylinder inside. the rod has to go through the cylinder, but first we have to put the spring on, which I cleaned. So now to go through, we have to press the pedal a little bit and let go. And now it's in. So now we have our nut here, which we'll have to adjust. First we're gonna put this other bolt. Here we don't want to over tighten this because our brake is gonna drag, and that's not good. So now we can go back on the other side and tighten everything, including the axle. Alright, so we are done at the back. So now we only have to do the same at the front and change the oil in the engine. That's easier than the rear one. Alright, so here the procedure is pretty much the same. I just want to make sure that the tire is the same size, 100 by 90 by 19. And this one is 100 by 90 by 19. So it is the same tire. Again, we have a yellow dot for the valve stem. So I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna change the tire. I'm gonna clean the rim because you see here we have a lot of rust and even more on this side. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to clean it, and then I'm gonna bring you back. Even these bolts here are rusted. My God. Anyways, I'll see you later, guys. Alright, so this one is done as well, and it is 29 psi. It took me quite a long time to clean it up from the rust, but to be honest, I'm really happy with the result. There's absolutely no rust anymore. And like I said, every time I use this trick with the Coke, every time I'm surprised how well it actually works. Well, there's still some evidence of rust, but compared to what it was, oh my God, look. I hear you screaming now, what about balancing and stuff like that? Well, I think I ordered counterweights, but they're still not here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put it as it is. I'm not gonna get rid of those. I believe that even if there is some difference between this tire and the old tire, it's not gonna be that critical. And that's gonna be in another video when I get the counterweights, and I'm planning to make myself a balancing machine. It's not really a machine, it's a stand, so I can balance my tires, and then I'm gonna take out the tires again and I'm gonna do it. But you see, it's not that hard to take them out. So that's gonna be in another video. Uh-oh, we lost the speedometer. It's to engage with the two taps inside. And there's a notch here which needs to match a notch on this. So that's how it should go. Stay there, man. This is where I need one of you to come and help me. Put the shaft in. Like I said, you have to make sure that this matches this notch here. And our brake still works and doesn't drag. So next we should change the oil. And for this we're gonna have to move again the stand because it's on our way. And actually we might get away without it now. Let's see. Yeah. So now the crane is going to keep our bike straight. Just warmed it up a little. You can hear it cooling down now. I'm gonna open even the filler so it can take air from the top while it's draining. And while it's draining, we're gonna go on the other side and change the oil filter. This is where the oil filter leaves, and I hope that not too much oil is gonna come out from here because it's gonna make a mess of the exhaust, which I just cleaned. But anyways, if we have to, we're gonna clean it again. And now here inside there are more screws, but these are different wrench. I think a little bit bigger. Ah! Yeah, and it leaked oil. Well, whatever. We're gonna clean it later. So the new filter goes with this part forward and with this part backwards, because the oil goes inside here and comes out through the paper, or the other way around, I don't know. But if you put it this way, you're gonna block the passage and nothing's gonna happen, except your engine is gonna see it. So now I can put the cover back on. You have to make sure that this seal is still there, and I didn't buy a new one, which would be a good idea, but too late now. Alright, so now the last thing that we have to do is we have to add the oil. Of course, I put already the plug underneath and wiped everything. And now we can add the oil, and we can watch here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a level glass that you can watch and see how much it is. But I think it is about 2.5 quarts, and I use this Grand Prix 4-stroke blah 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 10W40. I think that was, I saw it in the manual or somebody recommended it, I don't even remember anymore, but that's what I'm using. Okay, with not even 2 quarts it is now to the level, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it. Just gonna close that for a while. I'm gonna start the engine. I'm gonna let it run for 30 seconds is enough, so the oil filter gets filled up and all the oil passages, and then we're gonna check the level again. again. Yeah, it went lower. And it makes sense, right? So we can top it up now. Yep, so it is exactly like I said, 2.5 quarts. So that's it. I think we are done. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today. We didn't do those brackets, but they would take a while to dry if I paint them, so I couldn't do that today. And also when I take this bracket out to paint it, I'm gonna see what can I do about here, the oil leak that I have. I guess this is a seal that has to be changed, but actually I can look at the manual first and see what's there. But that also needs to be done. And we didn't do anything about the saddlebags. So next time that's gonna be it. Probably we're gonna balance the tires. We're gonna fix the saddlebags. We're gonna fix those. We're gonna see what we can do about the leak, and we're gonna paint the brackets. But for today, I think that's it, because it's a beautiful weather outside, and I'm gonna go for a ride because I haven't been on a ride with the bike for a long time. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I think I'm gonna go ride somewhere far away. Cheers. Who said Coke is bad? Serves well.